What's going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we will be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as Tron to Bitcoin. As always, if you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications. We are doing a giveaway at 5,000 subscribers, so make sure to be subscribed. Otherwise, let's get on with today's episode. We're going to be looking at the potential of a bounce that we saw, finding the exhaustion point, the bottom in cryptocurrency right now. So currently I have the coin market cap pulled up. I did refresh this literally a second ago. So this is currently up to date as for 9:35 p.m. on tonight, Sunday. So you can see the market cap is 213 or let's say 214 billion, so a little bit higher than it was yesterday. We see a 24-hour volume at 14.6, so again, slightly higher, a little more volume coming in. And surprisingly, I'm now seeing a Bitcoin dominance of 50.9%. Interesting to see these markets reverse back to 2017, 16, 15 market levels where the Bitcoin dominance was extraordinarily high. We've seen this as low as 30% in the past. So scrolling back down to the top 10 cryptocurrencies, you can see that for the most part we are having an uptrend or a bullish day today. Definitely a more I'd say more of a consolidation point. You can notice that not really any currencies are up more than 1%. So I guess today would just be consolidation. Bitcoin at 63.39 at 0.69%. Ethereum at 321, pretty much neutral. Ripple at 30 cents, down only 0.55, not even 1%. Litecoin up 0.54% at 59.29. So definitely some good news all around the board. Let's just check out some technical analysis, get into that, and then, yeah, we'll see where it goes. So let's check out Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has definitely been acting a little interesting the past week or so. So one thing I want to point out is once I zoom in, we're on the weekly right now. You can see we're currently at a market cap around an RSI at around 42, which is quite nice in my opinion. Definitely plenty of room to go up. You can see we did go quite a bit down, almost bottoming out right here at the lower green band on the high-low middle moving average. This is considered the two bands represent the 35 and 100 day, 35 being red, 100 day being green. Now you can see we almost hit the 100 day, you can say EMA or MMA, doesn't really matter. We almost bottomed out here. You can see we retraced back up and we're currently trading in between here. Now, I don't think we're going to trade in between here for long. I do think we're going to pull back out within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Not too long in my opinion. That is looking on the weekly side of things. You can see we are slightly moving back up, and I do think we will continue to move back up within the next week or so. The one thing to keep in mind though is that when we move back up, we're going to hit this high-low middle moving average, this the red band, the 35-day moving average, and that is going to act as a resistance point. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how things play out. One thing to note is that this downtrend looks like it's being broken right around here. So interesting enough, it seems like we kind of found a bottom for the for Bitcoin right now. You can see how it's kind of this white line. It's basically the bottom of the shoulders on this reverse head and shoulders formation. You can see right here and right here. That bottom is pretty much right where we're sitting at right now. So if you want, we could potentially say it's a high or low if you consider this to be the bottom, this to be the second one. We'll see what happens in the next point. We are still below this high-low middle moving average. We were oversold or just entering oversold markets quite a few days ago, and you can see we're slowly pulling back up. Obviously, a lot of congestion right here, facing a lot of issues with the downtrend. You can see we are slowly getting out of that. We're slowly moving up. I think another day of consolidation is definitely due. Did we bottom out? Definitely something we're going to have to pay attention to the more we dive into Bitcoin and the rest of the market. One thing to note here is that we were extremely oversold not too long ago, a couple hours ago, and now we are finally entered into a more neutral territory, around 45 on the relative strength index in terms of Bitcoin on the 4-hour. You can see we are hanging above support at around 6,200, kind of chilling, I guess a consolidation area right at around even 6,300 to be honest with you. As I extend that out, you can see where some support, actually a lot of support in my opinion, is playing out. I'm just going to draw this horizontal line here for you guys to see right at the current price level. You can see how this cuts through, and it's quite nice in my opinion. I'm just going to zoom in to show you guys a little bit more in depth. Hold on. Okay, so you can see right here, support all throughout the this line right here, and you can see how right now we are acting as support again. So definitely looks nice. Consolidation is definitely there. I do think very soon we should pull up to this high-low middle moving average on the 4-hour first at around, I'd say, $69,000 to $7,000. That's definitely the next price point Bitcoin is going to try to move up to. We're going to have to see. If we start entering overbought territory, we're going to have to pull back down again like you saw. But I do think we could potentially be exhausted, in my opinion. Now, let's just talk about Litecoin from the 4-hour, and we'll jump out to the weekly since we're already on that. You can see on the weekly we were extremely, like I stressed the word extremely oversold not too long ago. Huge bottom. You can see we literally touched my line so perfectly. I know a few of you guys caught that and mentioned that, but I was saying 55 to be the bottom for right now, and you can see we've hit that so nicely. It's wild to see how perfect we bottomed out at 55 and then shot up off of that. You can see we are now entered into a more neutral area at around 40. Definitely looks nice in my opinion. You can see there's a slight downtrend that I'm noticing on Litecoin on the 4-hour, something along the lines of this, if not more like that. Definitely interesting, something to keep note of. I guess I'll leave this on here for now. We'll see how this plays out in a few hours, if it's going to hold this. But definitely a small downtrend of the sort. You can almost draw it like here, in my opinion. Something like this. Let's see. For all those who want to note, yeah, something like that looks about right in terms of a downtrend. So clearly 55 is definitely the bottom, and it is a extremely strong support level. So we're going to have to see if we're going to maintain that. If not, we're going to unfortunately break lower. Truly, I don't think we will go much lower. I'd be very, very, very shocked if we do. But we're going to have to see. You can see on the daily, Bitcoin literally tapped the 55 level and then shot right back up. One important thing to notice too is we are still oversold, which gives me hope we should continue to move up just slightly, or gives me verification that we should move up. So not for people to call me emotional in terms of investing. So I do think a price movement slightly up is definitely on the rise. I do think we're going to head right back up to retest this line of resistance once again that's been on the market for around 8 months now. So definitely interesting, something to pay attention to. Lastly, let's jump out to the weekly for Litecoin. You can see the major downtrend on the current market, around 8 months to be exact. You can see it seems like, see the pink band that I drew, or the purple band, whatever color you want to call it. I'm not sure how it's coming up on your phones, but you can see how this is basically the bottom, literally the start of the breakout that happened in December, kind of similar to Bitcoin. So not uncalled for in my opinion. Definitely moving up to a nice high, but we're now currently bottoming out basically where we started from. It's as if this has never happened. You know what I mean? It's like the market's just going to ignore the fact that we saw prices at that high. Now, the good thing to note is that because we have seen prices that high, it's not a taboo anymore. It's not, crazy. If we see Litecoin go back to $250, we're going to be like, okay, it's at 250. Can it go higher? It's not going to be as crazy. When we first hit 250, everybody's like, oh my God, Litecoin's at 250. That's crazy. That's crazy. But now it's old news. You know what I mean? So it definitely makes it easier for the market to hit 250, in my opinion, or 300 than it is for it to hit 500. You know what I mean? I'm trying to put it like that. If we see a $10,000 Bitcoin, not many people are going to be like, oh my God, that's crazy, because we've already hit it. So unlike the fact that we've never hit 30,000, if we see a 30,000 and new all-time high, people are going to be very shocked. So it definitely gives us some play in the market in terms of how high we could potentially go. And there most likely would be less resistance when we go up there, in my opinion. So you can see we're bottomed out right here. We're coming so close on the weekly. We look very nice on the relative strength index, trading at around 36. So close to being oversold. So close, so close. You can see we're so close to the bottom as well. At around 55, we're going to start this candle right now. Towards the end of this week, not much volume has moved at all. Or actually, I think this is the start of this candle. And we're going to see what happens. We may start next week and then potentially break out of this descending triangle. Or it may be this week. We're going to have to see, guys. There's definitely a lot to pay attention to. Lastly, let's look at Ethereum in terms of the top 3 cryptos, or blue chip cryptos, I like to call them. We're just going to check it out on the daily. You can see we are finding, I'm very shocked we blew right through this bottom right here. This I thought would have been a critical support level, and we just blew right through it. And I'm very in shock and in awe that that happened. If we continue to fall lower, which we may not do because we are oversold on the daily, we're going to hit this line right here. You can see how this is major support. That's another thing to note, is this really wasn't that much support here. There really wasn't that much. So, well, there was a decent amount, but we blasted through that, which I'm very shocked about. But if we do fall lower, you can see we're going to either hit the levels. There's two support levels right here, the tops and the bottoms. This is like a small channel you can see right here where I'm pointing to. So if we do fall lower, we're definitely going to go down to those areas and probably get caught in here like we have in the past. If not, we're probably just going to start to try to go back up to the high-low middle moving average on the daily. I can definitely see, you can see how much this is starting to tank. So it'll definitely be interesting. We will catch up to it. We may catch up to it at 425. We could catch up to it as high as 500, 480. Hey, we're going to have to see, but we need this to start consolidating, trading sideways, and inevitably moving back up. This way we can straighten these high-low middle moving averages out for Ethereum. Lastly, let's check out Tron. We've definitely looked at this coin in the past, and I do have some support levels drawn in here. So nice that those are saved. You can see how there is a massive descending triangle forming here. You can see we have found our bottom. If we break bearish, we're going to have to go to like this level. And then I'm going to draw a last level for Tron. So for all those who are investing, these are some levels to pay attention to. Clearly on the daily, we are extremely oversold, which gives me more acknowledgement that we're going to start to consolidate, trade sideways, and again retest this huge downtrend that's on the market. If we can break through that, we're going to head straight up to this try to retest this support, and then go right up to the high-low middle moving average. And by the time that that happens, this is probably going to be caught up with that. So it should even out. But we're definitely going to consolidate sideways, in my opinion. Other than that, that's going to sum up the episode for today, guys. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe if you like the content. Make sure to give it a giant thumbs up on the page. And lastly, giveaway at 5,000. So if you're not in it, definitely hit the subscribe button. We're going to do a merchandise giveaway. It's going to be really cool. Just giving back to the community, you know what I mean? And I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.